Jimmy Donaldson, known to the world as Mr. Beast, is currently facing a legal and financial reckoning that could dismantle his entire YouTube empire, and the unsealed court documents from late December 25 prove the chaos on his sets was actually a calculated business strategy. For over a decade, the public has viewed Mr. Beast as the ultimate internet philanthropist, the man who builds houses, cures blindness, and gives away millions just for the joy of helping others. The common belief was that his massive partnership with Amazon for the Beast games would be the crowning achievement of his career, a $5 million prize that would set a new standard for reality television. But the superior reality, backed by over 500 pages of explosive legal filings and a leaked 36-page internal handbook, is a story of systemic medical neglect, alleged sexual harassment, and a multi-million-dollar tax scheme that has left the industry reeling. Today, we're breaking down the 3 questions the MrBeast's team has tried to keep buried. What exactly was written inside the secret How to Succeed handbook that allegedly encouraged staff to treat contestants like props? Why did the production team misclassify over 1,000 contestants as volunteers to secure a $2 million state tax credit? And how did a $100 million budget from Amazon result in participants being hospitalized for dehydration and starvation? We have mapped the entire timeline, from the first day of shooting in Las Vegas to the latest court rulings on December 23, 25. We have consulted with labor lawyers and PR crisis experts to show you the receipts that prove this was never just about making the world a better place. The most shocking realization for many followers is that the toxic culture on set wasn't an accident, but an instruction. Per a report from Variety on September 18, 24, the initial class action lawsuit pointed to an internal document titled How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. While the world thought the high energy and messy nature of his videos was just organic fun, this handbook told a different story. According to the court documents updated on December 21, 25, this internal guide became the foundation of the cult of misogyny allegations currently plaguing the company. The handbook allegedly instructed staff to do everything possible to empower the boys and explicitly encouraged reckless behavior to ensure the content was as dramatic as possible. Female contestants have come forward in these filings, claiming that the production environment was designed to sideline them, while male participants were encouraged to be aggressive to drive up view counts and retention rates. This wasn't a simple failure of management, it was a deliberate strategy to prioritize the algorithm over the humans involved. The payout here is that the high-stakes vibe we see in these viral videos is apparently built on a foundation of workplace toxicity that would never be tolerated in a traditional Hollywood studio. It suggests that the MrBeast brand didn't just ignore these issues, but codified them into their training materials, creating a culture where winning and views were the only metrics of success, regardless of the human cost. This leads us to the absolute core of the scandal, the piece of evidence that changed the entire narrative around the 3-minute mark of this legal battle. In October 25, investigators began digging into the financial mechanics behind the Beast games. According to the legal filing in the U.S. District Court of Nevada, the MrBeast production team is accused of knowingly misclassifying contestants to the Nevada Film Commission. The motive behind this was purely financial. The production wanted to qualify for a state tax credit worth more than $2 million. Per the BBC on September 18, 24, over 1,000 contestants were allegedly treated as volunteers or simple participants rather than employees. This allowed the company to avoid paying minimum wage, providing standard labor protections like mandatory meal breaks, and paying into workers' compensation funds. However, the lawsuit argues that because their actions on the show were the actual entertainment product being sold for millions of dollars to Amazon, they were legally employees from the second they stepped on set. The payout is massive and potentially ruinous for the brand. If a judge rules that these participants were employees, MrBeast and Amazon could be on the hook for tens of millions of dollars in back wages, overtime, overtime, and civil penalties. This would set a precedent that could bankrupt dozens of other influencer-led productions. While Jimmy was telling his audience that he was spending millions to change lives, his legal team was allegedly working behind the scenes to bypass the most basic labor laws just to save a few $1,000,000 on the back end. But the physical reality for those on the ground was even darker than the financial manipulation. According to an exclusive report from CBS News on September 19, 2024, former contestant Jake Weddle alleged that the production environment was unsafe, unorganized, and mentally taxing. He described being kept in isolation where the lights were never turned off, leading to severe sensory deprivation and distress. But the latest Beast Games lawsuit, filed in December 25, goes even further into the medical receipts. Contestants described being underfed and deprived of necessary sleep while being forced to complete physically exhausting challenges that were not properly vetted by safety professionals. One specific receipt mentioned in the prose of the legal filing is a medical record from a contestant who had to be hospitalized for severe dehydration and malnutrition during the Las Vegas leg of the shoot. The filing claims that the production crew failed to provide sufficient food and water, leading to numerous fainting spells and injuries that were allegedly ignored so the cameras could keep rolling. This wasn't a case of a budget being too small. This was a production with $100 million in funding that failed to provide the most basic human necessities. The payout here is the destruction of the hero narrative. The image of the kind billionaire giving away money is hard to maintain when there are legal documents detailing how your production staff treated people like disposable assets in a race for engagement. We also have to look at the role of Amazon in this disaster. According to a report from The Hollywood Reporter in August 25, Amazon executives were reportedly warned about the unorganized nature of the MrBeast production style early on. However, they chose to move forward because the MrBeast brand was considered the most valuable asset in the digital world. Per the filings in late 25, Amazon's legal defense has attempted to distance the tech giant from the day-to-day operations, claiming that Donaldson's company, MB24 LLC, was solely responsible for the management of the contestants. But the lawsuit names Amazon as a key defendant, arguing that they amplified these conditions for profit and ignored clear red flags. This is where the PR motive becomes transparent. Amazon needed a major hit to compete with the likes of Netflix and Disney+, and they believed MrBeast was their golden ticket. They were seemingly willing to overlook the lack of traditional production safeguards to ensure they captured the younger demographic that follows Jimmy. The payout is a grim look at the future of entertainment. The partnership between big tech and big creators have created a Wild West environment where the safety of participants and the integrity of labor laws are treated as optional hurdles rather than mandatory requirements. The most recent update in this war arrived just yesterday. On December 22, 2025, the Los Angeles County Superior Court denied a motion for the defense to dismiss the sexual harassment and hostile work environment claims. This is a critical blow for the MrBeast's team. It means that the trial, currently scheduled for mid-26, will allow for a full discovery process. This includes the unsealing of more internal emails, Slack messages, and the full version of that secret handbook. According to labor experts and industry analysts consulted on December 2025, this is the most dangerous period in the history of the MrBeast brand. If a jury sees evidence that the production intentionally created an unsafe or discriminatory environment, no amount of charitable videos will be able to scrub that from his legacy. We are witnessing the end of the era where mega influencers can operate without the oversight of traditional media standards. The very tools that Jimmy used to build his empire, data-driven decisions and high-speed content creation, are now being turned into weapons by the legal teams representing the people who feel they were exploited along the way. Jimmy Donaldson has spent years becoming the most powerful and recognizable creator on the planet, but the $100 million tax receipts and the horrific medical stories from the Beast Games suggest that the foundation of that power is crumbling. This wasn't just a messy reality show experiment, it was a corporate machine that allegedly prioritized engagement, tax credits, and content density over the actual human beings who made that content possible. As we move closer to the trial in 2026, the industry is preparing for a total shift in how these massive YouTube productions are handled. The MrBeast we think we know, the generous, smiling face of modern philanthropy, is currently locked in a basement of litigation that could change the face of the platform forever. This story is far from over, and the receipts are only getting more damning as the discovery process continues. To understand how this fits into the even bigger trend of digital legends facing their own reckoning, you have to check out the Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist. It is the essential next step to understanding the playbook these stars are using to stay on top, even when the truth is finally catching up to them.